Welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Arpeggiator and the functions that it has within the M-Audio Oxygen Pro. Now, this has an arpeggiator built right in. You don't need any software or anything. You can use this. You could use it separate from a computer. Just connect it to another keyboard you have or a sound module. You can use the arpeggiator in here to control those sounds. So really cool to have a fully functioning arpeggiator right inside the controller. I think that's a great feature. Let's dive in and just talk about the different parameters we can change, how we can use the arpeggiator, some of the little functionality bits around it. If you've got questions, as always, throw them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you found it helpful. So I've got a virtual instrument pulled up here by Native Instruments called Massive, and I have this little sparkly pad right here. Could play an arpeggiator without an arpeggiator just by cycling notes. That's technically an arpeggio. This would be an arpeggio. You get the point. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into arpeggio mode. And there's actually two ways we can use the arpeggiator. You'll see here, and if you've seen my past videos, you'll know that one dot means a single tap on the button. To turn the arpeggiator on, this is in momentary mode, which means the arpeggiator is going to stop as soon as I let off the key. We could double tap. These two dots mean double tap on the button to turn arpeggiator mode on with latch, which means the arpeggiator is going to continue after I take my hand off. The next chord I play or the next set of notes I play will take the place of the previous set. To get to that, I can double tap. Now my button's blinking, letting me know that I'm in latch mode for the arpeggiator. So let's go and tap this one more time to turn it off. Let's turn it on, and let's go and just play three notes together. Again, momentary mode means that as soon as I lift my hand off the keyboard, those notes stop. If I double tap on this to go into latch mode, it's gonna hold until I hit that button again and turn the arpeggiator off. Now, let's say I'm in latch mode and I switch chords. So, as you saw there, the notes I played each time took the place of the previous notes that were playing in the arpeggiator. So there's a couple of ways we can change parameters for our arpeggiator. We can go into the edit menu, and whether you're in momentary or latch mode, the parameters are the same. To do this through the menu, we're going to hold shift and tap the ARP button, which just brings us to our ARP menu here. We have a few different parameters we can go through. We can cycle through type, octave, gate, swing, and split. So just to talk about split right here, we could set the arpeggiator only work on a certain zone of our keyboard. Maybe you've got the 49 or the 61 key versions, and you want to have the lower half be the arpeggiator and the top half be no arpeggiator, maybe sending to a different channel with a different sound on it. You can do that by using the split function. The other way that we can change settings for our arpeggiator is to move out of our edit menu and hold shift and twist one of these four knobs up top here. And you'll notice the label below each knob, type, octave, gate, and swing. As we turn that, you'll see that the arpeggiator type shows on the screen here, and I can cycle through them very quickly using these knobs right here. So one little nice feature here is I can actually lock the ARP knobs. So hold shift and press lock ARP knobs. What this is gonna do is now I can play, but I have to have the arpeggiator on. I can cycle through each of the different arpeggiator modes or change a parameter without having to use both hands or try to stretch and hold shift and twist the knobs. So you can lock those. So another thing that we can do is set the time signature of the notes within our arpeggiator. To do this, we can click on the note repeat, and you'll notice that if I just click it, there's a quick menu that flashes. We can hold it, and then we can twist this knob to change between our different time signatures. So we could have quarter, quarter T, eighth T, 16th, and 32nd. If we want to lock that, we can hold shift and tap, which is going to basically turn latch on, and then we can scroll through our knob with this latched on and change our time signature there as well. Let me back out of that. I'm going to leave it on 16th because I like that. And let's talk about the arpeggiator types. I'm going to go into edit mode. The first type we have is up. So that's going to do, if I turn the arpeggiator off, if I were to play that, and then this is the way that the arpeggiator, I could change that to down, which is going to start at the top note. Basically the reverse of the up. And then we have Incl, which I'm not exactly sure. I tried to look up what that stood for. Let me know in the comments below if you know. But basically what that's going to do is it's going to double the top and the bottom note. And then we have Excl. I would think this would be inclusive and exclusive, but I couldn't find 100%. So if you know, let me know. But this one is cycling from the top down and back up. So it's almost like a combination of the down and the up. The next one we have is order. So this is actually going to play the notes in order. So if I start up here or down here, so I can actually kind of shape whether I want it to be an up or a down depending on how I play the note. So if I want it up, if I want it down, if I want it middle down up, so essentially as soon as it loops, it starts to give you the same thing there. Then we've got random, and this is going to give us a random pattern each time it cycles through. And then we have chord, which is going to take the whole chord I'm playing and it's going to just repeat those notes. So those are the different types. Mess around with those, see what you like best. I tend to go with up a lot. And as you're playing with this, if you're producing sounds or whatever, play with your filter, play with some of the settings on whatever synth sound you're using, play with the effects. You can get some really cool sounds by using an arpeggiator in your music. So let's go back and let's go to octave. So right now the octave is set to 0. So if I play one note, right, it's just repeating that same note. Let's bump this up to octave 1. Now it's cycling between two different octaves of that note. Let's do octave 2. Now we're getting three different notes in there. Let's move to 3, so you have 0 to 3. Right? Now, if I start to put more notes in there, it's actually going to cycle between all of the different octaves. And I could change my time signature. Let's maybe make that the fastest. Whoa. I don't know if that should go in a horror movie or what, but anyway, you get the idea. I could bring my octave down. Wow, check out those hands. So let's go change our time signature back to 1/16. Let's go in and bring our octave down to 0. And let's move on to the gate. So the gate, this is actually, it starts out in 50%, which it gives us our most standard arpeggiator there. So gate, if we bring this back, it's actually going to start cutting the notes. If you know from an effect standpoint, a gate allows less or more of the sound in at the very beginning. So if we reduce the gate on this, listen to what happens. We get a shorter note in there. Bring it all the way down to 5%, we get a da-da-da-da-da-da instead of a full note. Do-da-da-da-da-da. And if we bring this all the way up, It's sustaining those notes within the arpeggiator just a little bit more, so we have more, almost as if you were holding the sustain pedal. You get a little bit more depth to your sound there. I'm gonna bring this back to 50. And then the last parameter that we can set is swing. So this is how far it swings off of the timing within our arpeggiation. So at 50%, it's gonna stay right there. But as I start to increase this, listen to what happens. Those notes start to drift off of your normal time signature. And even though they're staying, they're being played at the same, I guess, length, they're starting to move out of time. So a lot of different settings that you can make your arpeggiator kind of your own here. Again, I'm using the menu here. You could use the knobs up here. You could lock those knobs there. So if you're playing in a live situation or something like that where you want to have those live tweaking capabilities, you can do that right there. You don't have to hold shift to go into that. Again, we could go back and swing. It would allow us to set the first note and the last note of that zone, as well as the MIDI channel we want to send that zone out on. So I hope that was helpful for you. Let me know if you've got questions, throw those in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and keep making that music.